Hey, welcome in. So today we are just gonna chill and shade together. If you've ever looked at your drawing and thought, why does this not look smooth? Trust me, I've been there. I used to think it was my pencils or the paper, but honestly, it was how I was shading. In this life, I'm gonna walk you through everything step by step. The tricks I've learned that actually makes a difference. No stress, no pressure. Just vibe, watch, ask questions if you want, and maybe pick up a few secrets you wish you knew earlier. So let's get into it. I started off by drawing the outlines first. As you can see, I've already made a sketch of the drawing with a grid. I use a grid method for the sketch. And now I'm going over the sketch with a soft charcoal pencil. I do this to, make the outlines bolder so that it doesn't disappear when I start shading over it. So I'll just do it for the entire face and leave the rest of the body. Let's shade the face first. You want to make sure that your lines are accurate and not rough, if that makes sense. You want to keep it as tiny as possible. As tiny as possible. So please, if you are joining, you can double tap on your screen, or if you are watching this live after the live, you can like and comment, you can ask questions, and that's quite it. So this is actually a commissioned artwork, and I got the permission to stream it live while drawing. Okay, once we are done with the outline, I start the actual shading, the real meat of the project. And if you are new here, we always start with the eyes. We always start with the eyes. I use a blending stump to smudge over the lines, to make it smoother so it doesn't appear like an actual line. So we are going to blend with the blending stump just like so. Just like so. Um yeah, so now left eye they use, bro. Fine. Where is my this thing? Charcoal. Where is my charcoal dust? Oh, oh, oh. Oh, Ooh. Hold on, please. Yeah, I'm looking for my list of. Okay. So here we go. I'm also gonna blend the other arms with a blending stone. Now, if you have watched any of my video, you should know what's coming next. Shading. Before going over with a brush, I like to use the blending stump to shade the first base. It helps me to, build up like a foundation so that I know how to shade with the brush from darker to lighter shadows. Please double tap on your screen. Thank you. Yeah. Just shade with the blending stump first, like so. And after shading with the blending stump, can you guess what's next? Guess what's coming next? Okay. After the blending stump, I'm gonna shade with this to darken the dark areas on the eyes, just like so. Yo, double tap on your screen, please. Now I'm going to use my small brush to blend it and also shade the second layer of the eyes and around the eyes. Don't worry about the highlights on the pupil. I can add it later on. So please subscribe. Hello, Nelly. Welcome to the live. Thanks for joining. Ooh, so I'm shading from darker shadows to lighter ones. Thank you. From darker shadows to the lighter ones. If you're an art lover or a beginner or intermediate, whatsoever, you want to learn how to shade smoothly with pencils, pen, or even colored pencils, you are welcome to some legendary Art-Cademy. We have some loads of videos that can help you improve at drawing really fast and skip some beginner mistakes. So do well to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. My name is Oruh Samuel, an artist from Nigeria, and this is my first live stream here. So once we are done shading here, I should go ahead and blend the outlines. You don't want those sharp outlines to be visible. So yeah. Now at this point, most beginners will be tempted to start adding the highlights immediately. But that's not what we are going to be doing yet. Before we do that, let's add the details first. Let's add some skin pores using a charcoal pencil, but keep it as light as possible. I'm not just adding random dots. What I'm doing here is I am adding tiny circles to create the illusion of skin pores. To create the illusion of skin pores, just like so. And then I blend it. Now I use what we call the white pen to add the sharp highlights on the iris. Just like this. Just like this. Now this makes the whole thing get better. I look more, how do I put it? This brings out the contrast and all that. Next, I use what we call the electric eraser to highlight on the eyelids. But I'm not just going to draw on the eyelids with the electric eraser. I'm going to use the dot pattern to add it, to create the illusion of skin pores and keep it as realistic as possible. Anyways, if you are joining, please double tap on your screen and subscribe. If you're an artist, art learner, and art enthusiast, you are welcome to some legendary Art-Cademy. Here, we drop tutorials that help beginners skip some beginner mistakes and get better at drawing really fast. The channel is still a bit new, but we have interesting tutorials that can help you get better at drawing. Thanks for joining. So this is it. I'm gonna shade around the eyes. Using my charcoal powder and a small brush. Now, if you don't have a brush as little as this, please do well to get one for yourself, because places like the eyes, the nose, the ear, and the mouth require the little brush for the first layer at least. After this, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to shade the nose to have that buttery smooth textures and look 3D. But before that, I use a medium brush. I use a medium brush to shade a little wider area like this, because if I use a smaller brush, we get patchy shading, and we don't want that. I like this brush because it helps the process. If you can get one for yourself, you understand what I mean. It's called She Built It, but I like the softness of the brush. Please double tap on your screen and subscribe if you are a beginner artist who is interested in arts, tutorials, and in fact, if you just want to learn art without feeling like you're in a boring class, then subscribe. My name is Samuel from Legendary Arts Academy. Before going over to the nose, I want to make sure that this place is okay. I want to make sure that this place is actually okay first off. So I'm using the smaller brush to make this place look edgy. How do I put it? To blur the lines and blend it with the other parts of the face. But if this is not working much, I can use a blending stump to blend it. The blending stump is actually a great tool, helps a lot. Thanks for joining. Double tap on your screen, subscribe, and yeah, I hope I'm audible and clear enough. I have the Nigerian accent, so you can bear with me, you know, you can bear with me. Ooh. Now, the sclera is still looking kind of dark. We don't want it to be pure white, but we also want to bring out the highlights on it. So I'm gonna use the kneaded eraser to erase. Just like this. Thanks for joining. You can double tap on your screen and subscribe if you are a beginner who wants to learn how to shade, how to draw, how to master art. In fact, if you want to skip the beginner's mistake and get good at drawing really fast, welcome to some legendary Art-Cademy. Here we teach you. Yeah. Now for the nose, um, just like the eyes, we start by blending with the blending stone. We use the blending stone to blend the outlines, the ones around the nostril. This is the first step of the shading process. I also use the blending stone to shade some part of the nose. It serves as a first base, first layer of the shading. This process helps us to to, how do I put it, soften and blend the outlines so it looks more realistic. I'm still gonna use the blending stump to shade more of the nose, just like I'm doing right now. Thanks for joining. Please make yourself visible in the comments if you want. I mean, the blending stump is a magical tool that most artists ignore a lot. I'm waiting for meeting. But I don't just turn to the phone. Once I'm done with this, you already know what's coming next. Shading with a smaller brush, and I do it like this. Notice how I'm shading in circular pattern, circular motion. You don't want to go aggressive with back and forth motions. Otherwise, you get flat looking shading. So use circular motions to do the job. And like I said before, for areas that are bigger or wider, I use the medium sized brush to shade it, just like I'm doing right now. And if you're wondering how I do the outline, the sketch, I use what we call the grid method. You can find the tutorial on that in my YouTube channel. And a quick tip: why shading? Don't You must not limit your paper. You can, turn it around to make yourself comfortable, to make your hands comfortable, so you don't get patchy shading. But instead of turning it around, I'm standing up and turning myself because of the camera. Once we are done with this, okay, I'll finish up the nose first before any other stuff. Now let's bring in the king of highlighters, the king of details, the Tombow Mono Zero eraser. I want it to be sharp. So let's cut off the dirty parts. I'm adding tiny details around here. And here. Well, excuse me, but this place is still kind of unrealistic. So let's work this out. I'm using another eraser to bring out the highlights as seen on the reference photo. Um, Quite a mess, and I bring it out. We'll get back to that later. But for now, let's get over with the nose. Now let's do what makes everything pop. Highlighting. I use the electric eraser and using a dots pattern. I'm adding the sharp highlight that appears on the nose. And oh boy, this makes the whole difference. For the softer highlights, we're gonna use a mono zero eraser, just like so. Um, I like to use the metal eraser for this part. You don't want it to be sharp and pointy. You just want it to reflect, just like this. So let's move on to the other eyes. And you know how we do it, right? You know how it goes. Simply gonna do this. Just like this. And in order to make the pupil look more 3D or spherical, I'm gonna shade some parts darker and make the other parts more lighter, as you can see. The eyes is what separates the boys from the men. With that, we blend into blending stone. Don't worry about the highlights. You will add it later on with the white pen. This guy. Add some shadings to give the eyes more depth. You know, blend the outlines, make it look more smoother. Also blend the the eyelid or what? Blend it to add some shadings with the blending stone. This serves as the base layer shading. Mm. Add some shading Proper leaf. And some shading here and there. Blend some stuffs here and there. Just use every material that seems to be helpful to you and leave no line sharp. No line should look sharp here, and that's the work of the blending stone. Thank you, Jaka. Welcome to the live. If you are a beginner artist, you want to learn how to shade, how to draw, how to do anything about art, how to price your art, how to grow your audience as an artist, welcome to some legendary Art-Cademy. Here we help beginner artists skip some beginner mistakes and get better at drawing really quick. So if you are in for that, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you, Lassie. I ain't giving up. Okay, let's give a quick backstory of my channel. I actually had a monetized YouTube channel, although we still have about 3,000 subscribers. But I got it monetized and also got demonetized. Something happened. I had to create a new one, which is this. And here we are today, going live for the first time. So I'm not giving up. So this is how you do the first markup of the eye, the first prep of the eye. Now for the second shading, we use a tiny brush to, you know, go over it. You don't want the scribbler to be so white. You want to add some shadings, to get that realism. Then shade, shade, and shade, just like so. I hope you are enjoying this live video. So please double tap on your screen and subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer, thanks for your support. This, I'm gonna go ahead and shade the lower part of the eye. Mm, looks like okay. I have a remedy for that. I was gonna use the wider brush to blend it, just like this. But before we get to many other parts of the face, I would love to add the details on the eyes. On the eye, I mean. And to do that, I use a white pen again. I use a white pen to first off add the sharp highlight on the iris. Oh, looks like this one is done. Just like so. Just as it appears on the reference photo. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring out some light to this color. Thanks for joining. If you are an art beginner who wants to learn how to draw, make sure you like and subscribe. Double tap on your screen, please. Here at Some Legendary Arts, we help beginners keep some beginner mistakes at drawing. So let me go ahead and draw the eyebrows. It's satisfying to do this. Just as tiny lines here and there. Follow the direction. Follow this direction as shown on the reference photo. So the kid has little eyebrows, so it mustn't be so visible. I'm not going to add here yet because I'm yet to shade the other parts. So let's actually use a medium-sized brush, and in a circular motion I'm gonna shade the forehead. Just like this. Hold on. If I want to make these parts a lot more easier for me, I'm gonna use a bigger brush. I'm gonna use this brush. And shade. It makes it easier. Ooh, look at that. Look at that, bro. Now and the art is coming out together. Okay, at this point, I don't mind whether the shading looks flat or not. I'm just gonna shade everything around here, just as you can see. After I use this another eraser to bring out the highlights. Bring out the highlights as they are on the reference photo. Just like so. I'm trying to make sure that I keep it as smooth as possible. This part can be tricky, but don't worry, once I'm done, we are going to blend it. And bring it back to base. Using the bigger brush to blend. Let me add the eyelashes. No. using a blender is done to blend the outline so it doesn't look sharp. Right now I'm going to use a zero eraser to add the details, the tiny details in the eye. Now for the hair, I'm gonna need a softer charcoal pencil. Ooh, this is quite blunt. So let's get another. I'm shading in scribbles. The more scribbles I had, the fuller the hair will become. The more scribbles I add, the fuller the hair will become. This one will serve as the face shading of the hair. We are not going too dark yet, just enough to show that, yeah, we want this place to be the hair. And once that is done, we use this angular brush to blend it. Yeah, blend everything. Good. Now I use. Ooh, look at this. I'm just gonna fix it on this pencil holder. and go darker with it. Oh, I'm just adding some spiky details with the soft charcoal pencil. You know, not a particular shape. I'm not adding circles. I'm not adding lines. I'm just giving it random directions. To give the illusion of fades. If that has a meaning, I don't know. Also add the edges around it. At this point, the drawing is coming to life. Yo, um, so I believe this is it. My lamb. I'm just gonna go offline and finish up the rest. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'm gonna go live next few days. I'm gonna work on another project. But once I'm done with this one, I'm gonna show the results in one of my upcoming videos. But that's quite it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.